You are listening to the PlantWhys Podcast. I'm your host, Ali Essig. And if you're looking for more recipes, workouts, coaching, and support, make sure to check out the PlantWhys membership at plantwhys.com. All right, so we have a treat today for the podcast episode. I have Maxim. And so can you explain, first of all, how to say your name and how people can find you? And then we'll go into what I'm excited to talk about, and that is how you can really help with behavior change. Because like me, Maxim's also a plant-based coach. And so we'll first introduce you and then go a little bit deeper. I have some good questions today.
Yeah, sure. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Name is Maxime Sigouin, MavyWellness.com, M-A-V-Y, the Forever Fit book on Amazon. Type my name on YouTube or Google, and all the links will show up.
I love it. I love it. And how many people have you helped just basically become more fit through a plant-forward diet?
Yeah, we're nearing 1,300 so far.
Awesome.
Like we're approaching that number. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just through the coaching with the book and everything else, I think we're at like almost 5,000 people.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm all about this, right? These are topics I like to talk about. So do you mostly convince people to eat this way, or you just help people who are already convinced to actually be a little bit healthier?
Yeah, a mixture of both. I feel like when they come to us, they are either eating whole food plant-based, or they're wanting to transition to eating plant-based, or they've kind of already been on the path and they just kind of want more structure as to how to do it properly. I would say maybe 60% of people are whole food plant-based and they just want to optimize and go to that next level.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are plant curious and are like 60 to 70 range, and we're trying to get them to like the 80, 90. Some go to full 100%, some stay at 90.
Yeah.
Which, is better than nothing.
100%. And I think I found that too. When people are ready for coaching, they don't come to us to be convinced of eating this way. It's usually like, okay, I've been trying to do it, but I'm struggling on my own. And so when that happens, where do you feel? I just want to dive into what makes it about people who are successful versus people who are not successful. What do you feel like? Everyone kind of knows what to do, but how do certain individuals actually do it and where others struggle?
I think a lot of people think that they know how to do it.
Right?
People have a lot of information out there, but it's like putting it together properly so that it's a realistic approach for the person to be able to transform. What makes a difference? I think there's a certain level of commitment that's necessary when you first come in, where it has to be more of a must than a nice to have. And so some people come and it's like, I've been struggling with my weight or for fitness for a long time. I know I should be doing it. So I'm here to kind of do the thing that I know I should be doing. Those people have a harder time. The people that come in is like, I must work out. I must eat healthier because X and X blood pressure, diagnosis, back pain, joint pain, or just being uncomfortable in their body. Those people tend to do better. It's just like, I was a caregiver for a long time. You're a mom. Not every day you want to show up or you feel your best, but you still show up because you're committed to your kids, you're committing to the person you're being a caregiver for. It should be the same for your fitness and nutrition. So showing up for yourself even when you don't want to, and if I worked out and ate healthy whenever I felt like it, I'd probably weigh like 250 and not be in shape.
That's true.
I have days where I don't want to work out either. This morning we woke up early to lead a fitness class. It was very early in LA time. So I'd say commitment coming in is like a big piece. And just them being decided that they're going to do this.
Yeah. Have to decide and go forward. What do you feel like are people's biggest roadblocks? What really keeps them stuck?
Yeah, so I work with a lot of type A overachievers because we attract who we are. So I'm a recovering type A overachiever. I just like to call myself a monk that doesn't live on top of a mountain at this point. But so a lot of people, they're very data driven. They're very obsessive when it comes to fitness or food, that they need to control every single number of every single ounce. They think that more is better when it comes to fitness. And so for a lot of people, they're waiting for the perfect amount of workouts. Like, I want to work out six days a week or else I'm not doing this. Or I want to work out 45 minutes 4 times a week and I'm not going to start until I have that time available in my schedule. If you have 2 times of 20 minutes, that's fantastic. Let's just build the momentum. Let's build the habit into your lifestyle. And then from there, you have an extra day that freed up. Let's use that third day for 20 minutes. And then undoubtedly what happens with everyone is they start to feel that muscle connectivity. They start to feel good. And like, I want to feel like this more often. I was like, let me do 30 minutes. And next thing you know, it's been 4 or 5 months. And like, I'm a regular person that exercises now. Like some people call themselves gym rats, or they're just like regular exercisers. But they wait for the perfect time, or they wait to have the whole time, or they wait to have all of the information before they take any form of action, which is silly. No one ever got anything done by just waiting. You started your business, you started coaching, you've helped all the people.
Yeah.
It's imperfect.
Oh,
right?
100%.
You do what you can with what you have.
100%. Right. You just have to start. I always like the phrase, God can't steer a parked car.
Yeah.
Like you just have to start moving, right?
Yeah.
Going forward. Now, another thing, so we're at this medical conference right now, ICNM, and it's amazing. You're hearing all this information about plant-based eating. My biggest question is there's what they're saying out there versus practical, tactical strategies. When it comes to weight loss, I think both understand after coaching people that you can't just, for most people, some people can, you can't just eat just plant-based. There is a strategy behind it.
Yeah.
What would you say if someone came to you and like, look, I've been eating this way and I'm willing to put in the work. I want to lose weight. What should I focus on? What would you tell them?
Yeah. So at that point, we'd just be looking at what they are doing and doing more of a refined plan for it. So a lot of people are coming in. It's like, hey, I'm eating plant-based, or they're on the path. I'm eating as much as I want as long as it's plant-based. I'm not having to worry about anything else. That's like a big one in kind of our space. And I'm moving my body. I'm walking. I'm hiking. I'm doing those things. That's fantastic. It'll get you to a fantastic place, right? If you're 40 pounds overweight, you lose some weight, you're healthy, you're moving. But if you want to go to that next level, which I'm not talking Olympic level athlete, but I'm talking an improvement in body composition, we want to decrease the fat, build some muscle. There needs to be a bit more of a strategic approach. There needs to be a plan in place so that your body has a chance to adjust to the new stressors, through strength training and resistance training. After about 4 to 6 weeks, your body gets used to it, which is normal. It's doing its job. You have to make it a little bit harder to have another reason to progress, which is why a lot of people plateau. They do the same plan over and over again, and they're like
the same YouTube video workout. You're like, you can't keep doing that same workout over and over.
That's why the workout videos I do on YouTube, I'm like, listen, this is great, but only gets you so far. At one point, you're going to need more.
Yeah.
So I see the progression is a big thing. On the food side, calories and protein, I just try to boil it down to its simplest form. When you look at body composition, a lot of the studies will say calories and protein are what matters the most. Again, this is just from body composition, not from health.
Yeah.
So you can do calories and protein. You can do high fat, low carb within that, or high carb, low fat. Pretty much the same results in body composition. So from a math standpoint, the only two metrics we need to worry about is calories and protein. A lot easier to track in 3 separate macros. And then let's fill that food up with good food that's going to make you feel good. Whole food, plant-based.
Right.
And then let's just prioritize the protein to make sure that we hit it. I see protein as like your calories and your protein as like your budget for the month. And your protein is your mortgage payment. You're going to pay a mortgage before you go shopping and you go do other stuff. So you prioritize your money, you pay the mortgage, and then what's left over, you do everything else.
Yeah.
So same thing, you have your calories, make sure you pay your mortgage, which is going to be your protein. Whatever calories is left, have sweet potatoes, have mangoes, have all the fun stuff that you want to have, but you need to prioritize it. Most people don't. They'll make a dish that has like 2-3 sweet potatoes with a bunch of greens and nuts and seeds and dressing on top. Fantastic, healthy meal. There's nothing bad in there. But it's going to be pretty low in protein if you are strength training, you're trying to build muscle. So eat 1 sweet potato instead of 3 and throw in half of a block of tofu instead. Pretty much same calorie content, but higher protein content.
Yeah. And do you have most people, because protein for a lot of people can get confusing when you're eating plant-based. You're like, am I just going to eat tofu every day? What is the most common type of protein sources that you are using with your clients?
Yeah. So starting from the top, I would go tempeh and tofu. Above that, I would put seitan, but we don't really have any in recipes, but it doesn't sit well with a lot of people's stomach.
Yeah.
So let's say tempeh and tofu would be at the top. And then below that, you go into like the edamame, beans, chickpeas, lentils, and everything. And then below that, you go into the grains like the quinoa, the teff, the farro, the rice. And then below that, you get nuts and seeds. I would put it below just because it's so high in calories to get a decent amount of protein. And then you get into the veggies like broccoli and mushrooms, and all those things do have protein in them. So just prioritizing the higher protein foods. I have a little simple path for people. If you do like either a protein smoothie or a sprouted oats for breakfast, because your sprouted oats can be it's like 18 grams of protein per cup.
That's amazing.
It's really high.
Yeah.
Lunch, build it around a soy base. So have half of a block of tofu or half a block of tempeh or some edamame. And then dinner, build it around like beans and grains. So that way you kind of get a wide variety of protein sources and some fiber. 3 meals a day. Yeah, you can make a Buddha bowl. You can make a stir fry. You can make sandwiches. You can make so many different things.
I love that. And how much do you personally use more of the processed types of protein? And there's obviously protein powders, but even like TVP, soy curls, like how much are... My favorite lately has been edamame puffs.
Okay.
They have like,
I don't think I've tried those.
Oh my gosh. They have like 20 grams of protein per 100 calories and they're just like Rice Krispie treats.
Okay, nice. I'm going to have to look at that.
I know. There's like no sugar. It's just, anyway, there's just Rice Krispies. What do you personally use as far as processed protein goes?
Yeah, I would say like protein powder would probably be like, I have a smoothie every single day. I probably had a smoothie for the past like 20 years every single day.
Yeah.
Just throw in a bunch of veggies, a bunch of fruits, easy way to get some protein in.
Yeah.
And the rest would be, tofu, tempeh, beans, lentils, legumes. And then
That's awesome.
some of the soy curls and stuff, I would say like a few times a month.
Yeah.
Whenever Ivy, my wife, decides to like get creative, like she'll make like vegan chicken adobo, a Filipino recipe, but we'll use soy curls in it. Yeah. So kind of when she's making little Filipino dishes, then we'll kind of use those as texture. But yeah, it's just a few times a month.
That's good. That's good to hear that you don't have to go to the processed foods, because I think a lot of people are feeling like the only way to eat this much protein is to go a little more processed. But yeah.
You just have to be more methodical with it. Yeah.
And then with strength training, how do you get people to start and then be consistent? And obviously, just like in our program, you use an app where they're tracking and keeping their weights and their reps and all of that. But where do you tell someone to start when they haven't ever even started strength training?
Yeah, so when they come in, if they're like brand new, we'll do a fitness assessment with them, just trying to see like how many push-ups they can do, push-ups on their knees, how many squats, trying to see what the range of motion is as well, because a lot of people have limitations that haven't worked out a lot before.
Yeah.
And then from there, our coaches will just build a custom plan for them just to build a solid foundation of basic exercise. If they go to the gym, we'll try to use machines at first because you're removing the stabilizer muscles, which is where most people are going to struggle with if they're starting to use like dumbbells and kettlebells and barbells and they're brand new to it. Yeah, well, we'll start really nice and slow. So if you go level 1 to 20 for fitness and you're level 1, that's cool. You can go to 10 if you want to. We're just not going to start at 10. You're going to get hurt. Also, people are going to be so sore that they won't be able to work out for a week. So we'll meet people where they're at. That's going to be the best part. Sometimes just 2 sets of an exercise and maybe 3-4 exercises for a workout versus 3-4 sets of 7 exercises. Right. If the volume is too high at first and the body can't handle it, nervous system will be so tired. Your muscles will be so sore. So just nice and gentle.
Ease into it.
Yeah. The idea is to do this for the rest of your life, right? So why come out sprinting?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I love that. I love that. And you do have to become the type of person that exercises, and it doesn't have to be, like you said, an Olympic athlete right out of the bat.
And people will just develop a hate for exercise because it just hurts too much. I'm like, yeah, you're trying to train like me. I've been training for 20 years. Like, you're not going to feel great.
Yeah.
I don't feel great because I'm sore too. So you're not going to feel great if you're not used to it.
I love the soreness sometimes though. I'm like, yes. Because you get so regular that sometimes when you do get sore, like, what do I do differently?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. So how do you help people who are emotionally eating, who it's like, again, they know exactly what to do. Maybe the exercise is just fine. They're really great at exercise, but food is their best friend. Food has always been there for them when they have nothing else. Food is their constant backup plan almost. And so what do you do for people who, whether it's they're stressed, they're bored, they're overwhelmed, who tend to emotionally eat?
Yeah. So first I will say that I have 2 incredible coaches that are certified in relationship with food.
Yeah.
So I let clients work with them.
You're like,
that's my honest piece of advice. But I used to have a bad relationship with food as well. Like there's a point in my life I was 240 pounds. I was binge eating.
What?
I had a moment where I was like, I bought a whole box of donuts and I was eating the whole thing and I was like, no, I need to stop. And then I threw it in the garbage and then I sat back on the couch and I was like, they're still in the box. And I went back and I ate a donut from the box that was in the trash. And I was like, that's when I was like, damn, this is too much. There's something wrong here. Yeah. So then I put it back in the trash and I dumped orange juice over it so I wouldn't like eat it. So I've had a bad relationship with food and had my moments with binge eating. Yeah. My approach was, okay, because when I was doing a dieting or anything, I was like, I can't have these food because I came up from the bodybuilding world, which you eat the same thing every day for 4 years straight. Right. And I did that. And I thought that if I eat strawberries instead of blueberries, I would get fat because that's what I was taught from my bodybuilding coach, which is crazy. So for me, I kind of went with the mindset of like, I'm going to eat whatever I want, but as long as it fits my calories and my protein for the day. And so I was like, I'm going to do a cut because I had a big belly and I put on a bunch of weight. I was like, I'm going to get a 6-pack again. And I ate ice cream, cookies, chips, hit my protein every day, hit my calories every day, got a 6-pack. Eating crappy food. But it just goes to show that the basics of calories and protein work if you're exercising and doing your cardio. Again, I felt awful. I had acne. My digestion was terrible. I had no energy. Like I felt like crap. But it proved to me that the principle of calories and protein work, right? And we've done it almost 1,300 times at this point. Right. So I always tell clients like, listen, if you're food, your calorie budget for the day is like 1,800 calories, and you're going on a date night with your husband or with your partner, and there's vegan chocolate cake, and you want to order a specific dish, if it's your calories for the day, eat it.
Yeah.
Eat it. Don't feel bad about it. You're within your budget for the day. You respected everything in my book. Move on.
Right.
Because that one bad meal is not what's going to make a difference. But most people, when they eat something that they are quote unquote not supposed to, they beat themselves up. And the beating themselves up is what makes it way worse.
100%.
They self-sabotage the next day. They're trying to eat less food to compensate for it. They're trying to exercise more, but then you go for an extra run. Guess what? You're hungry after you went running. So then you eat more, and then it's like a really vicious cycle.
Yeah. No, totally. So then the other question is, do you still track your calories every single day? And when people join your program, is that a requirement you have to track their calories? And what do you do if people hate tracking calories?
Yes. So no, we don't force members to track their calories every day. So personally, I do because I like it. I'm a diet rebel because I had such an issue with binge eating.
Yeah.
Someone tells me like, this is your lunch. I'm like, no, it's not my lunch. My lunch will be whatever I want my lunch to be. That's just my personality. That's what I work for myself.
Right.
I'm awful at following specific rules. I like guidelines. So for me, I do track my calories. It takes me like 2 minutes every day because I've been doing it for so long.
And you eat the same foods, like you save them, and it's like
exactly.
Smoothie. Yeah.
And if I want to make, I don't know, like a vegan pizza, then I can just make fit with my calories and hit my protein. So for members, we have 3 ways. We can build someone a meal plan because some people just want the thinking removed and they're like, I just want to know what to eat. I make it, I eat it, job's done. Some people a little bit more, not as rebellious as me, but a little bit more rebellious. They're like, I want options. So we'll do guidelines. So we'll kind of pre-calculate everything. And we'll be like, have 2 portions of protein, 2 of carbs and 2 of fruit and 1 of fat. And then they have a list of foods they can pick from. And each item is like 100 calories, the equivalent. So we can kind of build a meal from that. And they get to pick which grains, which protein source they want, or which fruits. And if the other people say, track your food, right? If you're that much of a rebel that you can't do meal plans and guidelines, like just track your food.
Yeah.
But in any way, there needs to be some type of tracking. A meal plan is just a pre-calculated plan, right? So you need to have some type of awareness because to bring it back to the whole like finance analogy, because food is money and money is pretty much the same. You're trying to save to pay off debt and buy a house. If you don't track how much you're spending, you're not going to get there. Yeah.
Right. It's like same with time. You got to track your time. If you're like, I have no time, well, how much are you spending on social media? You know, all of that. Yeah. Any type of awareness of tracking is helpful. So then what if someone's like, I can't follow a meal plan. I can't track. Like, how do you get them to be in the right mindset that it's not as big of a deal as you think it is?
If they don't want to track and they don't want to follow a meal plan, I would just have the honest conversation with them that they might not be able to get to where they want to, or that it's going to take them like probably 10 times longer. It's their choice at that point, right?
Yeah.
On my side, I'd probably remove them from the program.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, you're just going to waste your money here, right? It's not a time thing. Like our coaches love working with people, but you're just going to waste your money. If you're not going to track your food in some type of way and you want to lose 30 pounds, listen, it doesn't sound like you're ready to do that. And when you have a goal, there's specific things that need to happen for you to reach that goal, just like anything in life. It requires some form of sacrifice and commitment. Relationship is the same thing. Raising kids, building a business, getting in shape is the same thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do what's necessary to get the thing that you say you want to do, then you either don't really want the thing or you're not ready to get the thing.
That's good.
I mean, I'm doing my own body recomposition now.
Yeah.
If I don't lose the weight, it's my fault because I'm not doing the thing, right? Which I am, so I'm tracking my food.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, who am I? Who else to blame? I said I wanted the thing. It is my responsibility to do the things that are necessary to get to where I want to, or to ask help from people to get me to where I want to.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you work, I think we both work with very similar people in the sense it's usually a lot of women, usually women in their 40, 50, 60s, 70s. So how do you handle things like menopause or any specific women issues when it comes to weight loss and hormones?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, again, number one answer, I have incredible coaches that are used to working with that. So we're the team. I don't coach people one-on-one anymore. I built this team of really smart people to do that. A lot of time is just having an honest conversation with them to be like, listen, you're not 20. Your body's going to respond very differently, and it's going to be a little bit slower than you want it to be. And it's definitely going to be slower than you expect it to be compared to when you were, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And so one is just learning patience. And the second one is understanding that any action that we're making you do is only for your benefit. You strength training 3 times a week and doing cardiovascular exercise twice a week or at the end of your workout or whatever is only going to help you. There's no downsides to doing that. You eating whole food, plant-based, and making sure you're within a certain budget for the day to make sure you don't put on more weight is only to your advantage. There's nothing to lose from that. You're reducing inflammation, you're eating more fiber, more vitamins, more nutrients. And so it's just a conversation of patience. Your body will do what it wants to do. I can control it. You can't control it. But we can control as many variables as possible to ensure that we head in the right direction. Right?
I really like in your book, I took a look at it for a little bit, and I love that you're like, set a goal and set a timeline for the goal and then let go of the timeline.
Yeah.
Like that it really is, because you care more about, I think you said, slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I say people pick a timeline and then kind of forget about it is because if I tell you have to lose 20 pounds and I say you have 2 years to lose it, right? Most people's brains right now is probably 20 pounds, 2 years, probably chill for a little bit, right?
Yeah,
there's not like a
true.
high level of action that's required.
Yeah.
If I tell you have a year and you think of it in your brain, you're like, okay, still very doable, but pretty relaxing. If I go 6 months and your brain goes like, okay, I'm really going to have to cut back on this. I'll probably have to train a little bit more, probably have to change my schedule. If I say 3 months to lose 20 pounds, like, okay, you start to think of higher levels of action. So use the timeline as a tool to kind of force a certain level of action.
Yep.
And once you have established that level of action, then forget the timeline. Because realistically, life will happen while you're going through it, and it might take you a little bit longer. It might take you exact amount of time, but it might take you a little bit longer. Realistically, probably will, because you can't plan for being sick or traveling or family stuff. Sometimes you'll make bad decisions because you're human. You know what I mean? You'll drink some stuff you're not supposed to drink. You'll go on vacation and you'll do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, what matters is reaching the goal. Yeah. No one ever lost 30 pounds and it was like, oh man, I feel bad that I lost 30 pounds because it took me 3 months longer. You're just happy you lost 30 pounds. You know?
So true. Like, I'm a failure because it took me 3 months longer.
Yeah. I share this in some of the podcasts, but like meeting Tony Robbins. When I was 15 years old, I wanted to meet Tony Robbins. And I was like, I'm going to meet him in 2 years. It took me 18 years to meet him.
That's awesome. Yeah, but you did it.
Yeah, I did. It was very expensive. But I had to go through all of this time and become a certain person to be able to afford to be in that room and be able to meet him.
Yep.
But do I care that it took me 18 years? I'm so grateful that I got into the place to be able to be there, right? So the timing doesn't matter once you reach a goal.
I think about that sometimes, even just building a business, that at the beginning I was like, I'm going to be so successful right out the gate. And then you're like, But I look back and I'm so grateful for what I've learned, because it makes me a better coach. It makes me the process makes me a better mom.
Yeah.
Like all the process has helped me become someone different. And I really firmly believe using time as a tool, because gives you the pathway, right? Just like you said. And then you can follow that pathway. But the thing that most women struggle with is then they use time as a weapon to hit themselves and be like, you suck, you didn't make it, right? And it's like, it wasn't the point. It was the pathway thing.
Yeah.
It was to give us that pathway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not fit right now, it's because you're not ready to be fit. There's lessons you need to learn to be fit. It's one thing to be fit, it's another one to stay fit.
Yeah.
And to be fit, you can kind of cheat the system a little bit, but to stay fit, there's certain lessons you need to learn. There's certain lifestyle habits that just need to be purely embedded into your DNA at that point.
Yeah.
And that only comes from time and repetition.
Yeah.
But most people think that 6 months is a long time.
So to stay fit, what are those things? Like, just off the top of your head, what are in order for people to be fit and stay fit, what are the things that they have to have as part of who they are?
So I kind of want to answer from two fronts. So like from an identity perspective, exercising needs to be a part of who they are.
Yeah.
Like just the analogy of like you brush your teeth, you don't think about it every single day. It's kind of like, if I don't do my workouts, like I just feel weird. I feel off, right? It doesn't destroy my day, but I just feel off. I don't feel like myself.
Totally.
Eating healthy food. When you eat food that's not the best for you, you eat too much, you just feel awful a little bit. You're like, I don't like feeling like this. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So really embedding it into your identity and then learning to love yourself and your body enough to want to continue to do it. Because some people use fitness and fat loss as a form of punishment because they don't love themselves or they aren't ready to love themselves, or they think that they need to look a certain way or do certain things to feel like they're enough. That's a whole underlying thing that people need to heal. A lot of people need to do that work. That was the best thing I could have done to like just continue on that path. In terms of action, the basic stuff, exercising needs to be a part of your routine. You need to learn how to manage your schedule while being able to train at least 3 to 4 times per week. You need to learn to make healthy decisions when it comes to food because it's not that hard, right? People go to the restaurant and they're like, oh, I just picked the easiest thing on the menu, which was burgers and fries. I'm like, you could have said Buddha bowl, had less words. It was right under it in the menu and it was healthier for you, right? So we picked the easiest thing and the fastest thing, but literally you just had to say like 2 different words and you would have had a healthier option. So we self-justify weird stuff sometimes.
It's so true. Like even going out to eat, I'm like, you realize how long you spent in the drive-thru that you could have like made a potato, you know, like it opened up a can of beans, like it doesn't take that much.
I'll be honest, I'm an air fry chef.
Yes.
So that's how I live.
Yes,
so
I am too.
I have like the dual one. So I'll cut up tofu in cubes, put it in there. I'll put potato and broccoli, air fry for 20 minutes, and I got a meal right there.
Oh, it's so easy. It's so true. It's so true. It's trickier when you have to feed 6 kids, but
yes,
to do it all at once.
I just got my wife and I for now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
I'm going to buy 3 air fryers.
I have a big one. Let's just put it that way. And then I learned like what the tofu always goes in the air fryer, and then the veggies.
I'm just going to build a counter of mass air fryers.
I know on my YouTube videos, people are like, I don't have an air fryer. I'm like, what are you thinking? Why do you not have one?
It's 2026.
Right? I know. So then the other question on the other end of the spectrum, I know we spent a lot of time talking about people who need to lose weight, need to get fit, but what about the people, and you kind of mentioned it, who are fit, but who maybe have missed the mark, right? That's like an obsession, that's all they think about, that's like you said, almost like covering up some maybe other insecurities. How do you approach wellness without worshiping wellness?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, we refer a lot of people to therapists. Yeah, because some stuff is just out of our scope of practice that it's like, I think you need to like dive into that. And some people have to leave the program because of it. They just need to learn to kind of let go of the control and kind of take a break from it.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very relaxed when it comes to fitness and nutrition and how I coach and how our coaches coach. Everyone is very like understanding that life happens and we don't beat anyone over the head for missing a workout or for having a bad meal. Like one of the favorite things of members that's in the book also is like win the next meal and win the next workout. You had a bad meal? Who cares? Win the next meal. Not the end of the world. You missed a workout? Who cares? Win the next workout, right? Or just move it to the next day. We don't have to beat anyone over the head. Everyone beats himself over the head enough. We don't need to add to it.
That's so true.
And so just preaching flexibility does help people to not make it their entire life. But some people come in where they struggle with nutrition, but fitness is their entire life. And those people we have to be like, yo, we're going to work out like 50% less.
Woo.
And they're like, but my mental health, I'm like, you'll figure out other ways to cope, right?
Yeah.
But the stuff that's going to come up is probably the stuff you should look into, right? I said data in terms of like food or pace or heart rate or HRV or workouts and everything. It gives you a sense of control. Because if you see a 10, you can make it a 15. Or if you see a 20, you can make it a 10.
Okay, so with that sense of control, then how much is too much working out?
So for most people, 3 to 4 times a week for strength training is more than enough.
Yeah.
Cardiovascular exercise would very much depend on if you're in a body recomposition phase, if you're at the beginning, if you're at the end. Obviously, if you're, like I was doing before, competing in half Ironman or in triathlon, your cardio output is a lot higher. Talking like 10 to 15 hours a week.
Yeah.
So it depends what you're training for. But if you're training for fat loss and health and body composition, you can probably make everything fit within 3 to 6 days a week if you want to go a little bit above. I train 6 days a week, 3 strength training, 2 cardio sessions, but I'm deep into a body recomposition phase. Once I'm out of there, I'll probably be down to 5 days a week. 1 of longer cardio and 3 of strength training. That's more than enough for most people. Most people come out the door sprinting and then they burn out and they can't keep it up. So you want to think of exercise like, what would I be able to do for the rest of my life? Can you train 6 days a week for an hour every single day? I can pretty much guarantee you that no. If you have kids, if you're traveling, there's going to be emergency to show up. Like that's going to be pretty tough. So find something that is a minimum where you're able to be consistent with it. And then if you have free time, you want to do extra, go for it.
Yep, 100%. Or even the days I go to the gym 5 times a week, but then Saturday is like my Pilates day. Like there's also the chill.
Well, we're in the fitness space. I probably like with the teaching and the workout and filming workout videos, probably train a bit more.
Right, 100%. I just know some of my attendees, it's like, this is my second workout class today. And I'm like, that's just a lot. Like you don't have to take 2 workout classes a day.
I'll say this, I get it. Because when I was a caregiver to my late partner, I was training twice a day. And it's because again, she was sick with cancer and I had to find a way to cope, and I use exercise, which much better than drugs and alcohol. And so if someone is doing that, I get it. Shit, keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's a much better vice than going for food or alcohol or drugs.
It's true.
And so I think there's different chapters and periods of life where some people just need to be a bit more intense for a certain period to like cope or deal with something. I honestly think that most people don't live like that forever. Eventually you kind of get out, you get tired, or injuries come if you're abusing your body too much. But I think on certain times, like to me, it was necessary. It kept me out of trouble during that 5-year period. And I'm grateful that I had exercise for that. But I definitely was very exhausted when I stepped out of it and just had some time to recover. And now I train more normally. And if I decide to, my wife and I are looking at high rocks, and I did basketball. I was like, I pondered on it. And once I decided, I trained hard for a year and a half. And so if I choose to do high rocks, then training will go up because I'm training for something fun.
Yeah.
But just for normal life, 3 to 5 times a week, you're fine.
That's great. That's good. Yeah. If you have a particular goal, it's always different, like a triathlon. Okay. So then you have alluded to this story, and I think a lot of people are going to be more curious about it. So tell me a little bit more about what brought you to plant-based eating, the story of obviously taking care of someone who had cancer. If you can just give us a little more background, I think it's an interesting part of why you're here. Yeah.
So I'm nearing 12 years of being plant-based now. So I first transitioned for superficial reasons. So I used to weigh 240 pounds. I was a powerlifter and bodybuilder. My friend who I was training with brought me to his agent's office because he had to pick up some stuff. And the agent was like, oh, I see something under those big chubby cheeks. I think there's a jawline under there.
Oh.
He's like, you should try losing some weight and doing like a modeling shoot. And I was like, like, why not? I've done bodybuilding, I've done powerlifting, I've competed at that point.
Yeah.
So I went on a fat loss and I lost some weight, did a photo shoot, came out great, booked some gigs, made some money. I was working at Subway at the time.
Oh.
I made more money, people taking photos of me than I did working at Subway. I'm like, why not pursue this?
Yeah.
And so, but they told me, it's like, you're 6'4", so you're a high fashion model, you're not a commercial model. So you need to be even skinnier. And so I was like, okay, well, I went on Google, like, what diet's going to get me the skinniest, the fastest? Vegan showed up. Vegans are skinny and weak. I was like, okay. I know you can be strong on a vegan. I didn't know back then.
Right.
So I was like, fine, I'll sacrifice my strength to be skinny. So I stopped strength training. I just did cardio. I ate whole food, plant-based, severely low in calories. I went from 240 to 160 pounds in a year.
Wow.
Lost tons of muscle because I wasn't strength training and I was just doing cardio and I was super under eating my protein.
Yeah.
But I was able to get contracts. So I was able to walk on multiple runways. I worked in Toronto and in Canada area. I was able to get a contract in Milan. Went to Milan to do some shows, got some gigs over there.
Wow.
Got an agent in New York. Never ended up being able to work in New York. But so I did high fashion modeling for a while. That's kind of what got me into veganism, was I just need to be skinny and stay skinny. My late partner, I was 22 when I met her. And within 3 months of us dating, she got diagnosed with breast cancer.
3 months.
Yeah, it was really new. And I was sleeping on couches at that point. I was hitchhiking, kind of traveling the world, doing my own thing. I met her. She was a little bit older than me. She was 12 years older than me.
You like the older women.
Yeah, my wife's a little bit older than me. She looks younger than me, though.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
Whenever she says her age, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
She looks incredible. Anyway.
So I was sleeping on couches and then met Jennifer and got diagnosed with breast cancer within 3 months. And then, I was like, I loved her. And I was like, I will stick around and I will help you and support you through this. And that brought us on a 4.5-year journey of healing and ups and downs and trying to be a full-time caregiver, financial provider, and kind of figure life out and trying to provide and everything. And so when I was 27, she passed away, and she was 39 when she passed away. Wow. And that's kind of, I started the business maybe like a year before. Because COVID happened, I had lost my corporate job and I needed to pay for cancer treatments. I had so many cancer treatments to pay. My credit card debts were loaded because I was just paying for treatment left and right, trying to provide, trying to pay for rent. I was going to lose my apartment. I was eating at the food bank. So any food I have, I would buy organic fruits and veggies for her to be able to eat. And I was eating those shitty food that was in those brown bags. Yeah, I ate there for a little bit. So that's kind of what started the whole cancer journey and kind of what started the business to what it is today. But it was the hardest time of my life, but it shaped me into who I am today. And I'm very grateful for her for allowing me to be around her during that time and to be her caregiver.
It's a beautiful story, but also a difficult story. And thank you so much for sharing that. That is, I think about that all the time when you go through hard things. It's something you would never want to do again. You would never wish upon yourself again or other people, but you're so grateful for who you became in the process.
For sure. It comes with baggage. I come with baggage for sure. But my wife, Ivy, I told her, I was like, listen, like if ever something does happen to you, like I already know what it takes. I'm ready for it. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I knew that, like, I love her if I'm willing to go through all of that with her. So we're married for, almost 3 years now.
Ivy's amazing. She's amazing. And if you ever have a chance to meet her, ask her how old she is. You'll never guess.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. How can other people follow you, learn more from you? Give us your socials, all the info.
Yeah. So Mavy Wellness, Mavy wellness.com. And if you go to YouTube, which probably be on YouTube, probably like a link down below, collab, but just my name on Instagram and on YouTube.
Awesome. And Maxim's also been amazing at having me on the podcast, on his podcast. So I'll also link that episode below as well, too. So you can check it out. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to the PlantWhys Podcast. If you need more recipes so that you can put everything you just learned into practice, then make sure to check out the PlantWhys Cooking YouTube channel, as well as going to plantwhys.com to check out our blog and our recipe meal guides. See you next week.